Did you ever wonder about how your favorite holiday traditions evolved? Such as hanging stockings over a fireplace, bringing in evergreens and decorating them, and even going out into the street and caroling. Hi, I'm Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail and HMTV6. Over the next few minutes, we're going to bring you some history over the holiday traditions and how they evolved. But first, we're going to start with holiday traditions that exist around the world today that you might not know about. For many people, it's their favorite time of year. But while everybody might have their own favorite thing about the holiday season, they also might have their own traditions.
And my mother was full-blooded Norwegian. She was actually born in Brooklyn in the Norwegian community there. But both of her older brothers were born in Norway, as were my grandparents, and they emigrated, I want to say 1925 or thereabouts.
Christ Reformed United Church of Christ pastor Greg Meserol has kept one tradition with his family brought to America from Norway involving an almond and vanilla pudding.
And on Christmas Eve, an almond would be hidden or put in that somewhere. And whoever the lucky one who got the almond with their dessert was the one who got a prize or a gift or something like that.
Over at the Bavarian restaurant, Charles Sekula, who works there, was born in Germany and talked about Krampus, who visits houses with St. Nicholas December the 6th and takes away kids who are bad.
Of course, you're scared to death and they take you downstairs and around the corner and let you out again, but at that moment you don't know where you are and you just run and run until you find your way home.
The legend, when enacted, is obviously set up by the parents. Over at the Hagerstown Korean Church, Soyeon Ledimaki was born in South Korea and said that while Christmas traditions are similar to Americans, on New Year's, rice cake soup is common, as well as people bowing to their elders.
That means we are respecting and they are elders too. So we tradition coming down from the long generations do that just thanks.
I'm standing here in the Herald Mail newsroom foyer with Mylin Wong, whose parents are from Vietnam. Even though she was raised in America, many of the Vietnamese traditions are still with her family. Mylin, what are some holiday traditions that you guys have that might not be popular in America?
I think the only thing that's different is the food. Like, we have Christmas tree, presents, and everything else like that. But shrimp salad, it's a popular dish that we have for Christmas. Roasted duck, quail is another thing. So we don't have like the ham and turkey like Americans usually do. And for dessert, we don't have the sweet potato pie or the pecan pie or anything like that. We have whatever seasonal fresh fruits are available, and also fresh fruits cooked in coconut milk or cream.
Okay, is that a common Christmas meal, or is that a...
Mostly, yeah.
Okay, is there anything different you guys do on New Year's?
New Year's. No, I guess we just blow up firecrackers like everyone else, and we just hang out, have fun, and eat. I don't know if there's anything else. That's what we mostly do.
Spoken like a true Vietnamese and New Orleans girl, likes food. Anyways, as we go over to our next part of this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of some of these traditions. How did they evolve, and what started a lot of the things about Christmas? I spoke with a former HCC professor coming up next.
And after?
It started in Rome nearly 2,000 years ago with the holiday Saturnalia. Former HCC professor Tom Clements said that the original Christmas traditions revolved around the winter solstice.
And so there was a very common in many early civilizations a winter solstice festival. They would party to say, hey, spring is on the way, days are getting longer, we're going to survive another winter.
In AD 354, the Roman Pope declared December 25th Christ's birthday. Clemens said there's a fair amount of evidence to suggest that Jesus was not born on December the 25th, but that it's very possible the Roman Pope did this to appease some of the pagan holidays and celebrations that already existed then. Many of the Christmas traditions, including the origins of St. Nicholas, hanging stockings over a fireplace, and yes, Christmas trees, all evolved around that time as well. But Clemens said the image of Santa Claus, the way we decorate our Christmas trees, the idea of generosity around Christmas, and Christmas cards all came more recently.
So it's really in the 19th century that our image of Christmas, as we know it today, begins to take shape. But up until then it was, seen as a religious holiday, seen as a feast time. It was people from essentially the Scandinavian region that fostered the idea of bringing greenery into the house in the wintertime.
In the Scandinavian countries more than 2,000 years ago, these evergreen trees represented eternal life to many of the pagan religions up there. That's because throughout the worst conditions of winter, they continued to live on. So many pagans would chop them down and bring them inside and decorate them as part of a celebration during the winter. Pastor Greg Meserol says that some of those traditions can be applied to Christianity today. Meserol, whose roots are Scandinavian, talked about how the Christmas tree could represent eternal life and a little bit more.
There is that sense of continuing life in the midst of whatever, but as Christians we've also gone the second step of adding lights. So not only is it a symbol of the eternal life, but also the eternal light that Christ brings.
But now, whether or not it's secular or religious, and regardless of its roots, the holiday is now a worldwide tradition. Reporting from Hagerstown, this is Caleb Calhoun with the Herald Mail and HMTV 6.